Hello students, welcome to CBSE Class 9, Artificial Intelligence 417, Subject Specific Skills, Part B. In this unit, we will study Unit 1, AI Reflection, Project Cycle, and Ethics. This unit helps us understand how artificial intelligence systems are designed and used responsibly in real life. Today, we will focus on Unit 1.2.4, which is modeling. Modeling is an important step in the AI project cycle. In this stage, the machine is trained using data so that it can learn patterns and make predictions. It uses algorithms to understand the relationship between input and output. Just like students learn from examples and practice, the AI model also learns from data and improves over time. Different models are tested and refined to make them more accurate and reliable. In simple terms, modeling helps convert raw data into meaningful results and supports better decision-making. Let us now understand this concept in detail. In this lesson, we will cover some important topics related to modeling in artificial intelligence. First, we will understand what modeling is and why it is important in the AI project cycle. Next, we will explore different types of AI models and learn about data modeling techniques. We will also study the rule-based approach, including decision trees, which follow fixed rules to make decisions. Then, we will move on to the learning-based approach, where machines learn from data instead of following predefined rules. We will compare rule-based and learning-based approaches to understand their differences. After that, we will study types of learning-based models. In supervised learning, we will learn about classification and regression. In unsupervised learning, we will focus on clustering and dimensionality reduction. Finally, we will understand reinforcement learning, where machines learn through rewards and penalties. Let us begin and explore each of these topics step by step. Now let us understand what modeling is. Modeling, also known as data modeling, is the process of creating algorithms that can make decisions by learning from data. This data is collected during the data acquisition stage and is based on the problem we identified earlier. The goal is to train the model so that it can recognize patterns and make accurate predictions. Once the data is analyzed and patterns are identified, we use algorithms to build an AI model. This can be done either by designing a new model or by using existing AI models. Before going deeper into modeling, it is important to understand a few key terms: artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Artificial intelligence is a broad concept that includes both machine learning and deep learning. Machine learning allows systems to learn from data, while deep learning is a more advanced form of machine learning that uses multiple layers to learn complex patterns. Now that we understand the basics, let us move forward to explore more about modeling. Now let us understand three very important concepts related to modeling: artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. First, artificial intelligence, or AI. AI refers to any technique that enables computers to mimic human intelligence. This means machines can think, learn, and make decisions like humans. For example, voice assistants like Siri or Google Assistant use AI to understand and respond to your questions. Next is machine learning, or ML. Machine learning is a part of AI where machines learn from experience. Instead of being directly programmed, the machine learns from data and improves over time. For example, when you watch videos on YouTube, it suggests similar videos based on what you have watched earlier. That is machine learning in action. Now, deep learning, or DL. Deep learning is a more advanced form of machine learning. It works with large amounts of data and uses complex structures to learn patterns automatically. For example, Face recognition in smartphones uses deep learning to identify your face. In simple terms, artificial intelligence is the bigger concept, machine learning is a part of AI, and deep learning is a more advanced part of machine learning. Understanding these concepts will help you clearly understand how AI models are created and how they work in real life. Let us now clearly understand the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Think of it like three circles, one inside the other. The biggest circle is artificial intelligence. This includes all techniques that make machines smart and capable of performing tasks like humans. Inside artificial intelligence, we have machine learning. This is a smaller part where machines learn from data and improve their performance over time without being directly programmed for every task. Inside machine learning, there is deep learning. This is the most advanced level, where machines use large amounts of data and complex systems to learn patterns automatically and make accurate decisions. In simple words, artificial intelligence is the main concept, machine learning is a part of it, and deep learning is a more advanced part of machine learning. This relationship helps us understand how AI systems are built step by step, from basic intelligence to advanced learning. Now let us understand the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning in a simple way. Artificial intelligence focuses on creating machines that can mimic human intelligence. It is the broadest concept and includes everything related to making machines smart. Examples include robotics, natural language processing, and computer vision. Machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence. It focuses on training machines to learn from data and make decisions based on experience. Instead of being fully programmed, the machine improves as it gets more data. Examples include decision trees and support vector machines. Deep learning is a further advanced part of machine learning. It uses neural networks to automatically learn patterns from large amounts of data. It is especially useful for solving complex problems like image recognition and speech processing. Examples include convolutional neural networks and recurrent neural networks. In short, artificial intelligence is the overall concept, machine learning is a subset of AI, and deep learning is a subset of machine learning, with increasing levels of complexity and capability. Now let us understand the types of AI models. In the data exploration stage, data is usually shown using graphs and charts so that humans can easily understand it and identify patterns and trends. However, machines cannot understand data in this visual form. They need data in a numerical format, especially in binary form, which means zeros and ones. AI models help machines understand this data by defining relationships between different variables using mathematical methods. In simple words, AI models convert data into a form that machines can process and learn from. So, developing AI models means using mathematics and algorithms to analyze data and find useful patterns. This is how machines are able to learn and make decisions based on data. Now let us understand data modeling techniques. In AI modeling, we create algorithms, also called models, which are trained to produce intelligent outputs. In simple terms, we write programs that help machines behave intelligently. These AI modeling techniques are mainly divided into two types: rule-based and learning-based approaches. In the rule-based approach, the machine follows a set of predefined rules given by humans. It works exactly according to those instructions and does not learn on its own. In the learning-based approach, the machine learns from data. It identifies patterns, improves with experience, and makes decisions without being explicitly programmed for every step. Learning-based models further include machine learning and deep learning, which allow machines to handle more complex tasks. Now, let us explore these approaches in detail one by one. Now, let us understand the rule-based approach. A rule-based approach works on a set of predefined rules and facts that are already given to the machine. The machine does not learn on its own. Instead, it follows the instructions provided by the developer to produce the correct output. These models work well with simple data, where the relationships and patterns are clearly defined in advance. Let us understand this with an example. Imagine you have a dataset of images containing cars and cycles. While training the machine, you label each image as either a car or a cycle. Now, when you give a new image to the machine, it compares it with the existing data and follows the rules based on the labels. If the features match those of a car, it identifies the image as a car. In this case, the labels act as rules given by the developer. So, the machine is not learning by itself, but simply following the predefined rules. This is why it is called a rule-based approach. Let us look at another example to understand the rule-based approach more clearly. Imagine we have a dataset that helps us decide whether a child can go out to play football or not. The decision depends on factors like outlook, temperature, humidity, and wind. To make this decision, we consider all possible combinations of these conditions. By analyzing each case, we can clearly define when the child can play and when the child cannot. These conditions are then given to the machine as rules. After training, the machine is tested with new data. For example, if the outlook is overcast, temperature is normal, humidity is normal, and wind is weak, the machine will use the given rules to decide whether the child can go out to play. This is called a rule-based approach because the machine follows fixed rules provided during training. However, one limitation of this approach is that it is static. Once trained, the machine does not automatically adapt to new changes unless the rules are updated manually. Now let us understand this table used in the rule-based approach. In this dataset, we have two parts, predictors and target. The predictors are outlook, temperature, humidity, and windy. These are the input conditions that help us make a decision. The target is play golf, which tells us whether the final answer is yes or no. Each row in the table represents a situation. For example, if the outlook is rainy, temperature is hot, humidity is high, and it is windy, then the result is no, meaning the child should not play. By observing all these combinations, the machine learns the rules. It understands which conditions lead to yes and which led to no. So, when a new situation is given, the machine simply matches it with these learned rules and gives the output. This clearly shows how the rule-based approach works using predefined conditions and fixed decisions. Now let us understand what a decision tree is. A decision tree is a type of rule-based approach used for making decisions. It is shown in the form of a diagram that looks like a tree. It starts with a root node, which represents the first condition. From there, it branches out into different paths based on different conditions. Each branch represents a choice or decision. Finally, the tree ends at leaf nodes. These leaf nodes represent the final outcome or decision. In simple terms, a decision tree works like a flowchart. You start at the top, follow the conditions step by step, and reach a final answer. For example, to decide whether a child can go out to play, we check conditions like weather, temperature, or wind. By following the branches of the tree, we can easily reach the final decision. So, A decision tree helps us make clear and structured decisions in an easy and visual way. Let us now understand how this decision tree works step by step. The decision tree starts from the top with the first condition, which is outlook. There are three possible options: sunny, overcast, and rainy. If the outlook is sunny, we move to the next condition, which is windy. If it is windy, the child will not go out to play. If it is not windy, the child can go out to play. If the outlook is overcast, the decision is simple. The child will go out to play without checking any other condition. If the outlook is rainy, we check another condition, which is humidity. If the humidity is high, the child will not go out to play. If the humidity is normal, the child can go out to play. So, by following each condition step by step, the decision tree helps us reach a final answer in a clear and structured way. Now let us understand the learning-based approach. In this approach, the machine is not given fixed rules by the developer. Instead, it learns patterns and relationships on its own from the data provided. The data given to the machine is usually unlabeled and random. The machine studies this data, finds similarities, and groups similar items together. This process helps it identify patterns and trends. This approach is useful when we do not know the exact rules beforehand. Instead of defining rules, we allow the machine to learn from the data itself. For example, imagine you have many images of flowers without any labels. The machine will analyze these images and group similar flowers together based on features like color, shape, or size. Sometimes, the machine may even discover patterns that we might not have noticed. So, the learning-based approach allows machines to learn independently and handle more complex and real-world problems effectively. Now let us understand the difference between the rule-based approach and the learning-based approach. In a rule-based approach, the machine follows predefined rules given by the developer. It does not learn on its own and works exactly according to the instructions provided. On the other hand, in a learning-based approach, the machine learns from data by itself and discovers patterns without being explicitly programmed. In rule-based systems, AI is achieved using fixed rules, whereas in learning-based systems, AI is achieved through learning techniques. Rule-based approaches usually work with labeled data, while learning-based approaches can work with both labeled and unlabeled data. Rule-based models generally require less training time because the rules are already defined. However, learning-based models need more time as they learn from data and improve gradually. Finally, rule-based learning is static, meaning it does not change unless the rules are updated. In contrast, learning-based systems are dynamic, as they can adapt and improve over time. This comparison helps us understand when to use each approach based on the problem. Now let us understand the types of learning-based models. The learning-based approach can be divided into three main types: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. In supervised learning, the machine learns from labeled data. This means the input data is already provided with correct answers, helping the machine learn accurately. It includes two types: classification and regression. In unsupervised learning, the machine works with unlabeled data. It tries to find patterns and group similar data on its own. It includes clustering and dimensionality reduction. Reinforcement learning is different from both. In this type, the machine learns through experience by receiving rewards for correct actions and penalties for wrong actions. So, these three types help machines learn in different ways depending on the kind of data and problem we are dealing with. Now let us understand supervised learning. Supervised learning is a type of AI model where the machine learns from labeled data. This means that for every input, the correct output is already given. The main goal is to help the machine learn the relationship between the input data and the output labels so that it can make correct predictions on new data. For example, if we want to teach a model to identify vegetables, we provide images of vegetables along with their names, such as carrot, tomato, and bell pepper. These names are called labels. A label is simply a tag that tells the machine what the data represents. During training, the model learns from these labeled examples. Later, when new data is given, the model uses what it has learned to predict the correct label. So, supervised learning helps machines learn accurately by using already known answers. In supervised learning, the data is divided into two parts, the training dataset and the test dataset. The training dataset is used to teach the model. The machine learns patterns and relationships from this data. The test dataset is used to check how well the model has learned. It helps us evaluate the accuracy of the model by testing it on new, unseen data. Based on this, we can understand how correctly the model is making predictions. There are two main types of supervised learning models, which we will discuss in the next part. Now let us understand classification. Classification is a type of supervised learning where the training data is labeled. This means each data item already belongs to a specific category, and the model learns to identify these categories. When new data is given, the model analyzes it and places it into one of the known categories based on what it has learned. For example, suppose we want to train a model to identify whether an image is of a guitar or a piano. We provide many images of both instruments, each labeled correctly. The model learns from these examples. Later, when a new image is given, it compares it with the learned patterns and classifies it as either a guitar or a piano. So, classification helps in sorting data into different groups based on learned categories. Let us now understand classification with the help of this graph. In the graph, you can see two groups of data points. The dotted line between them is called the classification boundary. It separates the data into two different categories. All the points on one side belong to one category, and the points on the other side belong to another category. This is how the model decides which group a new data point belongs to. Classification works on discrete or categorical data. This means the output is in fixed groups or categories, not continuous values. For example, emails can be classified as spam or not spam, handwritten digits can be classified as numbers from 0 to 9, and animals can be classified as cat, dog, or bird. So, classification helps us organize data into clearly defined groups based on learned patterns. Now let us understand regression. Regression is a type of supervised learning used to predict continuous or numerical values. This means the output is not fixed categories, but values that can vary within a range. For example, if we want to predict the future price of a stock, the value can be any number within a range. Such data is called continuous data. The model learns from past data, such as previous stock prices, and identifies patterns. Based on these patterns, it predicts future values. In simple terms, regression helps us estimate or predict numbers such as temperature, marks, or prices. So, while classification gives category-based answers, regression gives numerical predictions. Let us now understand regression with the help of this graph. In the graph, the blue dots represent the actual data values, such as historical stock prices. These are the points that the model learns from. The curved line drawn through these points is called the regression line. It shows the pattern or trend in the data. The algorithm studies these data points and fits a line or curve that best represents the overall pattern. Once the model learns this pattern, it can use the line to predict future values. For example, it can estimate what the stock price might be in the future based on past data. So, the dots show the real data, and the line shows the prediction pattern. This is how regression helps us make numerical predictions. Now let us understand unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning works with unlabeled data. This means the data given to the machine does not have any predefined answers or labels. In this approach, the machine learns on its own by identifying patterns, relationships, and trends in the data. It helps us understand the structure of the data without any guidance. For example, if we give the machine images of vegetables without any names, it will analyze the features like color, shape, or size and group similar vegetables together. The machine does not know what each item is called, but it can still organize them into meaningful groups. So, unsupervised learning helps machines discover hidden patterns and learn from experience without any labeled data. Now let us understand clustering. Clustering is a type of unsupervised learning where the machine groups similar data into clusters or groups. These groups are formed based on patterns that the machine identifies on its own. The developer simply provides the data, and the machine analyzes it to find similarities. It then groups data points that are alike and separates those that are different. For example, if we give the machine different data points, it may form two or more clusters based on how similar the points are to each other. Clustering works on data that can be grouped into categories, even if those categories are not already defined. Sometimes, the results may be unexpected because the machine discovers patterns by itself. So, clustering helps in organizing data into meaningful groups without using any labels. Let us look at a real-life example of clustering. Search engines use clustering to give you better results. When you type a query, the search engine groups similar information together and shows the most relevant results, while keeping unrelated information separate. Now, think about the graph we saw earlier. The algorithm divided the data into two clusters based on patterns. All the data points inside one oval are more similar to each other, while the points in the other oval belong to a different group. This shows how clustering helps in organizing data into meaningful groups based on similarity. Now let us understand dimensionality reduction. We usually find it easy to imagine objects in 3 dimensions, such as length, width, and height. However, in many real-world applications, data can have many more dimensions, which makes it difficult to understand and visualize. For example, in natural language processing, words can exist in many dimensions, making them too complex to represent directly. To handle such complex data, we use dimensionality reduction. It helps us simplify high-dimensional data into fewer dimensions while still keeping the important information. Imagine holding a 3D ball and taking its picture. The image becomes 2D. In this process, some information is lost, like the back side of the object. Similarly, when we reduce dimensions, we may lose some details, but the data becomes easier to understand and work with. Even though some information is lost, dimensionality reduction helps simplify complex data and is widely used in tasks like document classification and image compression. Now let us understand reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a type of AI model where the machine learns by trial and error. Its main goal is to maximize rewards. In this approach, there is an intelligent agent, which is a computer program that interacts with its environment. Based on its actions, it receives feedback. If the action is correct, the agent gets a reward, which is positive feedback. If the action is wrong, it receives a penalty, which is negative feedback. Over time, the agent learns which actions give better rewards and improves its performance. In simple terms, reinforcement learning is like learning from experience. The more the agent practices, the better decisions it makes. Let us now understand the key features of reinforcement learning. In reinforcement learning, the agent learns automatically using feedback and does not require labeled data. It improves its performance by interacting with the environment. It uses rewards and punishments as signals. When the agent takes a correct action, it receives a reward. When it makes a wrong decision, it receives a penalty. Since there is no labeled data, the agent learns from experience. It also learns from its mistakes and improves over time. The agent explores the environment on its own. Its main goal is to maximize positive rewards and improve its performance step by step. Reinforcement learning is an autonomous and self-learning system. It follows a trial-and-error method to achieve the best possible results. The overall goal is to find the best set of actions that gives the maximum total reward. For example, recommendation systems suggest products based on user behavior, automated robots learn tasks through practice, chatbots improve responses over time, and self-driving cars learn how to make safe decisions. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this lesson helpful, please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more educational content. You can download the complete notes from the link given in the description box. Also, join our Telegram channel for study materials and updates, and follow our Instagram page for more educational content. All the links are provided in the description box below. Keep learning and stay connected.